To answer your question, Final Limits, yes, we're doing this, and we're doing this today. With my new Ripped Apparel shirt and my new cell phone case in tow. Let's do this. Greetings and salutations to you all. This is the Nature Girl 30, and yes, guys, this is another mini Q&A. And yeah, I know it's not Wednesday. I usually have these things up on Wednesday, but I have been so doggone tired lately. So now that I have a little bit of energy in me, hey, I decided to do this now. So, and as I just showed you in my intro, yeah, I got this shirt from Ripped Apparel. It is awesome. I love it. It's called King of the Sewer. Ripped Apparel has like one of the best shirts ever, and I'm literally trying not to be addicted to buying so many t-shirts. And I kind of can understand what NJ goes through with having a giant shirt collection and actually loving buying shirts because of the designs. So yeah, I understand what he's going through. And I also got a new case, which makes my phone kind of look a bit cool. But by the way, it's not about these things. It's about your questions. And I will get started with your questions coming from John Cunt. What do you think of 3 Count from WCW with Shannon Moore, Shane Helms, and Evan Karagias, or Karagias? I hope I said that right. Honestly, boy band gimmicks suck. Just ask 3MB. Yeah, didn't really work out for them. I'm actually shocked it lasted a year, but as I just said, boy band gimmicks suck. Moving on from there. Have you ever thought about being a pro wrestler? You look bigger and badder than most of the divas and most men. I don't know whether or not I should take that as an insult or as a compliment, but no, I haven't really thought about being a pro wrestler. It's just not in me to do it. You have to literally have it in you to love wrestling. And I do love wrestling, but I love watching it, not being a part of it. I just don't really necessarily like paying that much. What if Paige had a vampire gimmick? Would it be fitting? Honestly, it kind of would. Not so much because of her very light appearance. It's pretty much because of her attitude. I can imagine her with the whole vampire gimmick. If she was old enough to be a part of the Brood, that would have been awesome. But she wasn't. So that gimmick passed, and yeah. But it would have been real cool if she was a part of the Brood. It would have been if she was old enough. Is Paige gothic? Is Paige gothic? Honestly, no, but she kind of has a whole kind of attitude, and she dresses in dark and has like dark everything. She kind of has that attitude, but I don't think she's gothic. Is Paige creepy with that pasty pale skin? No, I think she's kind of cute. Why is Paige so white and milk? Well, I'm not gonna really go there. But either or. Yes, Paige is pasty. She is a lot lighter than a lot of people anticipate. She's just light. That's all. Most Europeans are. And that's okay. Besides, I think Paige has a real cool personality. You don't really pay much attention to how light she is. I don't know who Leah Marie Johnson is. I have no idea who that is, and I just did not look that up when I did this Q&A, so sorry about that. But moving on from there to Lonnie Lowell. Have not heard from you for a while. How can you not know who George Zimmerman is? Like I told you, I don't know because I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention to the news because all the news is bad. It's enough to literally either drive you insane, make you paranoid, or desensitize you to life. So honestly, that's why I don't watch the news. The only type of news I will actually watch is The Daily Show and The Colbert Report. But now The Colbert Report is gone, I got The Daily Show. And even though, and it is news, just news in a comedic way. And yeah, that's like telling somebody bad news in the most tragic way possible. But either or, I prefer that than the actual news. Whatever. Look, if you're not gonna really say anything that's nice to anybody, I'm not gonna answer your questions, but I actually answered your first question, so of course you will be acknowledged. Moving on to Lino Gino. Did you watch the debut episode of TNA on Destination America on January 7, 2015? No, because unfortunately I have satellite and my satellite company does not have Destination America. Not even my satellite package has Destination America, which sucks. Some people do, but Dish has kind of had issues lately with even keeping their channels. Their channels loses their contract and then you'll be out for a few months. So I'm hoping that I might get Destination America soon. At the moment, I don't have it, so I haven't really been keeping up with TNA. I also heard that Awesome Kong came back to actually feud with Havoc, and I wanted to see it, but I couldn't because I don't have the channel. I was pissed, but hey, what can I do? It's Dish. What kind of TV do you have? Flat screen TV or those old tube ones? I have an old school TV, like you can probably see a little bit back there. There it is right there. It's not, I don't really have a flat screen TV. It would be cool if I did, but no, I don't really have one. I'm kind of old school, I guess. Are foxes the same, are foxes in the same family as dogs? I have no idea, but that actually sounds pretty cool. I might just look that up. I wouldn't be surprised if I actually am surprised, and they are in the same family as dogs. Just like scorpions are in the same family as spiders. You would never know. But I'm going to look that up. The next set of questions comes from Escaterio Compton. I caught myself this time. Caught it this time. Compton. But anyway, moving on from there. What if Jericho came to WWE after the invasion angle instead of the summer of '99? It wouldn't really have the same explosion as it did before because honestly, Chris Jericho kind of played off the whole Y2K thing. So if he actually did come during the invasion angle, it wouldn't have a lot of punch. It would just be a regular debut. I'm kind of happy that he did do it. Actually, Chris Jericho made his debut. Chris Jericho actually made his debut around when the Y2K was going on. I thought he made his debut in the fall. I don't know. I can't really remember. I don't think it was in the summer. I think it was in the fall. I could be wrong. For those that actually do know the exact date, let me know in the comments. I actually thought that he was actually made his debut around just before the 2000s, the early 2000s, because of the whole Y2K thing. So I thought he actually made his debut in January. But I don't know. I can't really remember. For those that actually do, leave a comment in the comment section below. Your next question is, Miz and Morrison, did you like that tag team? I thought they were awesome. Because the Miz and John Morrison actually had really, they had really big egos. And they played off their personalities. And they had a lot of great chemistry. Not only in the ring, but also outside the ring and as a duo. I thought they were great. But of course, the Miz wanted to make himself bigger, so he broke off from the whole thing, and John Morrison just stayed the way he was. But honestly, I really felt that the Miz kind of brought something out of John Morrison as a heel, and John Morrison kind of brought the sex appeal to the group. Either or, it worked. I'm not saying the Miz is ugly, but let's be real, John Morrison is surely the shaman of sexy. But let's move on from there. What did you think of Carlito and his little brother Primo as a tag team? Honestly, it was okay. Primo didn't really have much of a personality, in my opinion, when he teamed up with Carlito, because Carlito had more personality than he did. Don't get me wrong. Primo and Los Matadores is fine. It is a good gimmick, but as for him being an unmasked duo with someone as popular as Carlito, it kind of sucked away everything that Primo could have brought to the team. Like, Primo was more the athletic one, and even though Carlito was very athletic, he had a great personality, and that just kind of sucked everything away from Primo and just kind of made Primo just be there. So them as a tag team was just meh, because Primo didn't really bring much to it. And it's not that it was his fault, it was just, something that happened. Carlito was a lot more popular than Primo. That just happens. Your next question for me is thoughts on Booker T's feud with Triple H back in 2003. Meh. That's pretty much how I see it. Don't get me wrong. Booker T was awesome as King Booker. He was awesome as King Booker. His wife, Queen Sharmell, had great personality, especially the fact of how freaked out she was with the Boogeyman. But him feuding with Triple H meant nothing to me. Seriously, it really didn't. I actually thought he was funnier and better as a heel than he was as a face. I mean, he can bring it in the ring, period. But his personality was it was better to me as a heel than it was as a face. So I really didn't care. In my opinion, anybody that kind of goes with Triple H is automatically going to be a heel. That's just my opinion. Because everyone loves Triple H, whether he's good or bad. People love the guy. So in a way, in my opinion, I see Booker T as more of a heel. I mean, more as the heel, but in a face. You know what I mean. Moving on from there. What'd you think of that Asian redneck Jimmy Wang Dang or Jimmy Dang Wang? Jimmy Wang Dang Yang? Something. It was terrible. It was two stereotypes blended into one. I didn't think you could fuse stereotypes together. That was like stereotype fusion. I didn't think that was possible. Jimmy Wang Dang was just stupid. It was just dumb. I'm sorry. It was the dumbest gimmick I've ever seen. Him wearing those jeans was not appealing at all. He was a great athlete, but he didn't have to be a redneck. But then I'm like, what could he have done if he wasn't a redneck? Let's be real. We all know that rednecks can be popular in the WWE. Just ask Stone Cold. And hey, he will admit that he's a certified redneck, so I don't consider that to be racist. But let's just move on from there. But yeah, that was a real dumb gimmick. Is Sheamus better as a heel? Yes, by far. If they bring Sheamus back as a heel instead of a stupid pasty face, no offense to him and the way he looks, but still, they make him more, I guess, more as a vanilla face. I guess it's a better way of saying it. If they actually bring Sheamus back as a face, it's not going to go anywhere. When Sheamus first debuted, he was a heel. He was the best heel I've ever seen. Not to mention he brought something to the belt. And I loved it. I loved him as a heel. I want him to come back as a heel because it works. It works with his personality. He has a very condescending personality. And it works. Like Jericho. It works for Jericho. It always works for Jericho. And it worked for Sheamus. I don't know why they keep doing this whole face turn thing. It just doesn't work. It never does. Stop experimenting. Seriously. Why do you refer everyone as an anti-hero? Anti-heroes are one of my favorite characters ever. And unfortunately, the anti-hero is starting to become extinct. How I refer someone instead of being a heel is like a heel is someone that has, in other words, heels have somewhat of a code. Maybe not a moral code, but they have somewhat of a code. And they can be defeated easily, especially in WWE. If you have somebody that does not care, hence the anti-hero that actually borders that gray area between loyalty and not caring. But in other words, with the anti-hero, they have their own code of conduct. They have their own code of ethics. They don't care about anybody else. They only care about what they want. And they kind of go in between that gray area. I refer to people as an anti-hero such as CM Punk because CM Punk will get his voice out no matter who is hurt, no matter who it upsets. And if you like them, fine. If you don't, fine. They don't care. With a heel, they do everything they can to be hated. That's their goal, is to be the most hated person in the WWE. Or at least to get on somebody's nerves to the point where they're considered to be a villain. They go far beyond the Call of Duty to torment this person, but they can be conquered easily. And they do kind of have a code. And you pretty much know everything about the face. But like I said, I refer to those who appear to be anti-hero and anti-hero. That's just my opinion. And that's one of my most favorite characters ever in a storyline or in a story, period. Is Mr. Griffin Jr. a racist black man against white people? Because he comes off as one of his videos that I've watched. No, Irvin is not racist. He's not racist at all. He's very passionate about racial, how can I phrase it? I can say that Irvin is very passionate about some things that actually do refer to race, especially discrimination amongst black people. And it may come off as very aggressive. He may come off as being racist, but he isn't. He's very educated and very passionate about those who are racist against those from different cultures. So no, he's not racist at all. Moving on from there to Final Limits. You sent me 2 sets, so I'm going to actually answer the other set later on in my other Q&A. So I'm going to start with the first set that you sent me. What if Brock Lesnar did the F5 on Cena and landed Cena right on his neck? Legitly, no, dude. I don't want Cena to die. I may not like his character, but I don't want him to die, and I doubt anybody would be happy. Excuse me. Moving on from there. Is Selena Gomez a crackhead drug addict? No, she's not. Moving on from there. What if Justin Bieber... What is with you and death, dude? Seriously. No, nobody would like the fact that Justin Bieber would die. And no, I'm not going to talk about I'm not going to talk about any celebrities that will predict to die this year. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay. What did you think of that WCW video of 3 count that I sent you on Facebook Messenger? I haven't gotten to it yet. Really, I haven't. Like when you sent it to me, I was at work, so I never really had a chance to actually look at it yet. But I will look at it. But like I said, even if I did look at it, for crying out loud, boy band gimmicks suck. They're bad. They're gonna always be bad, and they may be funny bad, but they're just bad. What if 3 count was around during their prime in WWE? How will those guys with the boy band gimmick get over with the crowd? Not well. Look at 3MB. 3MB went from 3MB to the Union Jacks to back to 3MB again and to some random gimmicks from whatever country they're in. Didn't work for them. Still didn't work. They ended up losing 2 members. And look at 3 count. Didn't last. Well, they only lasted a year and then they were gone. Probably sooner than that. I'm not predicting any wrestlers that would die. Sorry, it's a little bit too dark for me. Moving on to Peyto Newton. What if Mortal Kombat made a transgender character for the first time ever? That would be interesting. Hey, they made a character completely made out of meat. They can actually make a transgender character if they wanted to. Shoot, Nintendo did with Birdo. They could if they wanted to. But it would probably be some kind of creature with 4, 5, 6, 8 arms. I wouldn't be surprised if some kind of alien or somewhat. Or someone from Outworld. What if Bray Wyatt beat Taker at Mania? Oh, wow. That's a big if. Even though that Bray Wyatt can be on a roll sometimes, I really, in my humble opinion, don't think that Bray Wyatt is strong enough to handle the dead man. Even though I really do believe that The Undertaker should still be retired, in my opinion. Even if he is retired at his prime, whatever, I don't think that he can keep up. That's just me. And him winning, oh man, will it help his character. It really would. It would work because his character is a heel. Straight up psychotic heel. It will work for his character. But can I imagine him beating him? No. Not by far. Who is a bigger cancer to WWE? Cena, Vince, or Kevin Dunn? Cancer, I'm not going to really say cancer, but I will say this. Vince is going to be the bane of his own existence. In other words, I think that he's going to be the one that's going to cause the WWE to have a lot more problems because he refuses to move forward. As for Cena, Cena can be controlled. That's not an issue. Kevin Dunn can be controlled. The only person that's really tough to control is Vince, because Vince is stuck in his ways. But I really believe that Vince is going to be the bane of his own existence if he just allowed Triple H to take over. Don't get me wrong. There are some things about Paul Levesque, and I keep calling him Triple H, but I'm going to say Paul Levesque. There are some things about Paul Levesque that I don't particularly like, but I will say this. He's done a great job with the tag team division, and he's done a great job, even greater job, with NXT. So I think that there may be a chance, maybe a little bit of a glimmer of hope there. So I think that if he actually would step back and allow Paul to take over, then maybe things would be a little bit better. And there won't be any clashes, any inconsistencies in storyline. But that's just Vince. I think Vince is going to be his own problem, but he has to be the one to see that. Ever watch Presley Knows Best after Raw, when Raw ends on USA? I'm going to be honest with you. I've really never been a fan of Presley Knows Best because here's the thing. Why the heck should I watch a show about a gay man and his family and him being condescending to everybody else, including his family members? Why? Like, this is every single sitcom in the world that I've seen, but this is the one that's the most unique because this is a gay man and his family. Great. Okay? That's wonderful. That's awesome. I don't care. And even though it's in my home state of Georgia and my hometown of Atlanta, well, not really my hometown, but either or, I'm in the Atlanta area. Regardless, it's in my home state of Georgia. Even if it is, and I know every landmark that they actually pass, I don't care. I still don't like the show. I just think the show's a farce. That's just me. But no, I don't really bother watching, and I actually cut off the recorder right after that. But anyway, thoughts on that? Good grief, you really don't like Selena Gomez. I wouldn't consider her a crack whore, but good grief. Thoughts on crack whore Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato? Yeah, the girl I cut myself, Lovato. All I gotta say is that Demi's going through something. I don't think anybody wants to cut themselves on purpose. And as for Selena, she's going through heartbreak. These chicks are going through something. It's not like they want to be that way. It's not like they want to act that way. They're going through something. And unfortunately, being a celebrity, it's hard to be human because people have expectations of you. So I'm not going to call them that, but I will say that she's going through something and it's messed up. But it happens. You know, it's going to take its time and they're going to move it. It's going to take its course. And my last set of questions comes from Lino Gino. Why is that? Why you call him an ape, dude? Don't call him an ape. And if you call him an ape, I suggest you say it to his face. That's kind of rude. All I know is that he's not a fan of George Zimmerman. He knows more about the story than I do, because like I said, I do not watch the news. But I will say this. He's very passionate about what happened, what George Zimmerman did. He's not a big fan of the guy, and he's still not. So he has every right to feel the way he feels, even though it sounds aggressive. Thoughts on those script? What's with the gorilla jokes, dude? As for the Hodge twins are pretty funny. They may be a bit on the crude side, but hey, they're funny and they keep it real. For those that don't know who the Hodge twins are, they're attractive ladies. They're two attractive twins. I think they're both married, but I have no idea. But I think they're bodybuilders. And at the moment, they have a lot of views, and they're actually pretty funny. They may be crude, but they're funny. I have no idea where they're from. Ever watch Girl Meets World? Yes, I love the show, but I reached a point to where they really don't know where to go with it. They're trying to make it just like how it was during the ABC days when it was on TGIF, and they're trying to make it somewhat like Boy Meets World. They're trying way too hard. Don't get me wrong, I love Farkle. I really do. Farkle does remind you of Minkus. You got Farkle that's pretty much Minkus' son, who is pretty much Minkus. Then you got Riley, that is practically Corey with a lot of hair. Then you got Maya, who is the blonde version of Sean, the long hair blonde version of Sean. And then you got Lucas. Random Lucas. I don't know what they're going to do with Lucas. Lucas, he seems like the odd man out. There's really no purpose for Lucas to even be there. Not at all. Then you got the little brother that reminds you of the older little brother that some people forgot from Boy Meets World. So, Josh. So honestly, Lucas really doesn't have a place to fit in this entire story, but I still like it. I'm still hoping that it does get a bit dramatic since Disney decided to take creative license. Not so much creative license, but they decided to do Into the Woods, which was extremely controversial to some people, especially in the whole story of Cinderella. And since they're starting to go a little bit dark, a little bit edgier, maybe they may change up Girl Meets World and allow some drama to come in there. So I'm kind of hoping that that might be the case. And I know they have like a lot of good stories to tell, a lot of moral, like a lot of morality notes or whatever. But I hope that they actually do bring a little bit more drama to it and a little bit more realism instead of having a lesson to learn every day. You know, just make it more realistic. And I think that's what Boy Meets World did. And they kind of capped it off really, really well. That's why it was so great of a show. And that's why people really remember it, because you actually saw them grow up from being small and actually experiencing life like a human being. Unfortunately, this is a little bit sugar-coated, but either or, I'm hoping they bring the drama later on. And I think I talked way too much about that. But moving on from there to your final question. Tell me everything that happened in season finale of The Walking Dead. Oh, you haven't seen it? Let's just say that there's going to be some tears. That's all I have to say about that. There's going to be some tears. You're going to cry your freaking eyes out. That's all I have to say about that. And that was the mid-season finale. I think the actual finale is supposed to be this month, but the mid-season finale was a freaking tearjerker. I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna cry when you see the mid-season finale. Depending on who you like. Like if you like a particular young blonde girl character, you're gonna cry. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody else that has not seen The Walking Dead yet. I know you want me to say the whole thing, but I'm just gonna be fair to everybody else, and I'm not gonna say it. I just know that if you like a particular blonde girl, you're gonna cry. That's it. I'm not gonna say nothing else. But anyway, guys, those are your questions. Thank you so much for sending me your questions. If you have any more that you want to send it to me via YouTube or on Twitter at RKH30, hashtag DateYourGirlQ&A. Guys, if I don't get to them on Wednesday, trust me, they will come out by the end of the week. So I did not forget about y'all. But thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all later. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.